Hello everyone, welcome back to another 1v1 battle. This is going to be the Empire versus the Beastmen. For this one I've been messing around with a Warrior Priest build, and by messing around I mean just going into like custom battles against AI and just kind of testing out different things. And this is kind of one that I came up with that I think is okay. We have the Arch, and again this is kind of going along with the theme of people that aren't used often, but in this case only the Warrior Priest because everything else here is used often. So we have the Arch Lector and a Warrior Priest. We have an Empire Captain embedded in a group of the Royal Altdorf Griffites. This is going to be our hero squad and the main focus of the army. The Arch Lector, to make everything cheaper, we have the Arch Lector with only the the Benediction spell, which gives a +8 leadership to everything around him. We have him with the Grand Hammer of Sigmar and then the Grand Shield of Faith. Then for the Warrior Priest behind him, the only thing we took with him is going to be his Shield of Faith, which is the AoE damage resistance. No other buffs for him. And then I also took the Shield of Scroll of Shielding. So the entire point of the Warrior Priest and the Arch Lector here is to basically just buff the units around them. They're defensive-wise for the most part. And there's no point in taking Benediction with this Warrior Priest because it's just going to be a waste of money because this guy also comes with Benediction. Or you could flip him around. Either way, you only need one Benediction there. And then the Empire Captain's just there for some added toughness and damage. And of course, we have them embedded with the Royal Altdorf Griffites, which is one of the most powerful units in the game. For the rest of the army here, we have 2 great swords in the front line. We have Sigmar Sons and then 4 flagellants in the main line and then 1 more flagellant in the back. That's going to be protecting 2 of our handgunners. And then we also have a Jade Wizard with the 2 healing spells here to also support basically just the hero squad. This entire army's focal point is basically the Arch Lector and his Royal Holy Sigmarian Altdorf Griffites. I wanted to try and do a Sigmar theme. That's why I put a lot of flagellants here. That's why I put the Sigmar Sons here. And of course the double priests, which one of them is the Arch Lector. So that's the idea for my army. Right now I am currently just withdrawing over here to try and make it harder for these 2 Centaurs with great weapons. By the way, these 2 Centaurs with great weapons. I should finish this army. We have a front line of Gore Herds with shields. We have a great weapon Minotaur. We have the Morgor of the Shadowgrave, 2 Bestigors, another Minotaur, but this is a normal one, and then a single Gore Bull is consisting of the enemy's army. But as I was saying, I started here, and I'm moving this way because I see that they have Centaurs here. So I want to use this as a natural barrier on my left and basically force these Centaurs to come in only on my right side, where I'm going to put some flagellants to try and run blockers. Always trying to use the terrain to your advantage. Don't cheese it. Like, don't be cheesy about it, but still try and use a little bit. Like, this is not really cheesing. This is just being tactically sound. But don't just... Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. So the army is going to be coming up on us, and I see the Centaurs coming up over here. My first target is going to be the Gore Bull with our hero squad, because Gore Bulls are usually ran into the center, and people usually try and get them through to the handgunners behind him. And I know my hero squad can take out a Gore Bull, so I'm going to actually have these handgunners start to focus fire on the great weapon Minotaurs, which is going to be one of the greater threats to our hero squad, because all of these guys are mounted and heavily armored, so I want to do as much damage to them as I can. We're going to have flagellants run over here as interference for the Centaurs that are coming in, and the rest of our flagellants, our great swords and Sigmar Sons, is going to go up the middle, and there's the Gore Bull going up the middle. So we're going to go up here, and then I'm going to use our buff spells. Also, by withdrawing, I was buying time for our priest spells to come up. So now we have a Battle Prayer, we have the Earthblood being dropped in the middle, we have Grand Shield of Faith being dropped by the Arch Lector. And the thing is, when that Grand Shield of Faith is done, then I time it up with the second Warrior Priest, and then I drop a secondary Grand Shield of Faith on everybody, which should be coming up here soon-ish. I hope, if I was marking correctly. I think I was. There we go. Is that it? No, that's not it. It'll come at some point. But there it is. So the idea is to try and continually keep our units shielded at all times. Well, not at all times, but as long as we can. Right here, some Chaos Spawn are going to be dropped by Morgor, the Shadowgrave, so we're going to try and engage them with the flagellants while we're going to be pulling out our riflemen because we want to try and keep them safe. We've already routed off one of these Minotaurs. The Centaurs are going to be coming in soon as well, but we need to deal with these Chaos Spawn. The Gore Bull, for the most part, has been dealt with to the point where I'm satisfied, so we're going to pull away from there and go into these Chaos Spawn because I want to keep our handgunners free. Now, the Gore Bull is still alive, but without potions, the Gore Bull is not really a thing that I needed to kill immediately. Speaking of things we need to kill immediately, we got some more Minotaurs coming in. The other Minotaurs with great weapons, I think, are going to be coming in soonish, but that's why we're leaving flagellants back here. And again, just trying to pull back our handgunners. We have another heal spell being dropped from the Jade Wizard here on our hero squad, our great swords and flagellants and handgunners here as we finish up the Chaos Spawn and are now dealing damage to the Minotaurs. The front line is made up of a bunch of flagellants, which can trade pretty favorably into some basic beastman infantry, so I'm pretty sure that they can at least hold long enough for my hero squad to do what it needs to do back here. Here comes some Centaurs into our riflemen, so we're going to be running our flagellants over here. We're going to be, I think that's it. I think I just run my flagellants in here, and then we're going to deal with these Minotaurs with great weapons with my hero squad, and there they go with the Empire Captain, my Arch-Lector, all this crazy nastiness. And I ran one of our great swords into the middle because it was faltering, so we're going to go into there against these best scores. Flagellants are still alive, and they will hold to the bitter end. We have a group of riflemen free here, and they're shooting into the Gorbel to try and finish them off. The hero squad killed those Minotaurs with great weapons. Now they're running over here into the Centaurs, who are dealing with our flagellants. They are going to get one of our rifleman group. I couldn't save it, but that's okay. I think we drop a heal spell here. Yeah, I'm going to drop another heal spell from the Jade Wizard onto our 2 greatsword units and our flagellants, so that's going to really help them in their fight against the best scores, Chaos Spawn and Morgor. And there you can see our hero squad has dealt so much damage because that's a brutal hero. There are thousands of gold spent on this one squad of just pure death. And I'm keeping the Jade Wizard out of the squad because he's pretty vulnerable. And if we just loop him in with the hero squad and run him into melee, it's a good chance he could die en route. And I need him alive throughout the entire battle to heal the hero squad and great swords and, important units. So that's what he's doing. So now the Centaur has run up over here, so we're going to chase him with flagellants, shoot him down with the riflemen, as our hero squad is going to go in here, finish off a secondary chaos spawn that was summoned by Morgor, and then we're going to go after Morgor himself. Riflemen are just having a field day shooting these Centaurs over here. I'm keeping flagellants nearby, and I think I'm going to run these into the chaos spawn here soon. And we've just had so much healing. My Jade Wizard is safe on his horse way over here outside of battle, so I don't need to really worry about him routing. And there we go. We are routing these Centaurs by the flagellants and the rifles. Here come the secondary flagellant group into the back of these chaos spawn. And the hero squad is about to finish off Morgor, and that is when our enemy is going to forfeit the match at that point. They didn't really have too much left. So the holy Sigmar army of the flagellants and the Arch-Lector managed to be victorious in this game. The hero squad is a very popular, like not mechanic, but just a strategy. I think it kind of always has been, and this is a very effective one because the Arch-Lector, the Warrior Priest, they keep these guys alive longer to keep them, and also the Jade Wizard. Like all of these guys are meant to keep the Royal Altdorf Grid fights basically just killing everybody. By the end there, the Royal Altdorf Grid fights, I think, had gone through all of their regeneration. I think. I'm pretty sure. I may have checked that in the cinematic view. But anyway, good game to Chungoose. So for kills here, again, these are the MVPs. They went around and killing all of the Minotaurs. Sigmar Sun's got 41 kills, which is not bad. Flagellants did really well. I knew they would trade favorably into most of the Beastmen infantry, so I wasn't really too worried about that. And then we had the great swords here just in case they did bring best scores, which they did. And speaking of, 96 kills in the best score is really good. The rifle, the handgunners didn't get too many kills, but they were focusing on the bigger targets like the Minotaurs, who got 50 kills, which is really good. But luckily enough for me, I was able to shut down the great weapon version before they could really get into my Royal Altdorf grid fights, because that would have been deadly. These guys, along with like a Gorbel, could have really changed the tide in my hero squad, even through all the healing and the 22% damage resistance that my Lector and the Warrior Priest could drop. So yeah, again, good game to Chungoose. Hope you enjoyed that one, everybody. Let's take a look at a cinematic view. Get him, Sons of Sigmar. I mean, they're basically just humans with horns and hooves and bigger muscles and weird goat eyes. Like, that's the weirdest part. Run, rifles! Run! That's a lot of glowy stuff. Ooh! That Corbel somersault. It still looks so cool. The animations for the bulls are just so cool. Though I think the great eagles of the Wood Elves, when they carry people up into the sky like that, may have the Corbel speed. Let's check really quickly here. Okay, so you can see the little line. So they were almost out of regeneration at this point. And how much can they regenerate? Let's just check. Because I cast 3 heal spells on them, I think. 3,000 hit points were negated by the Jade Wizard worth of damage just for them alone. And he was doing AoE heals the entire... Like, the Jade Wizard's so good. The Shadow Wizard is still cool. It's just... The Jade Wizard makes a lot of things more viable, like being able to heal your Warrior Priest and the Arch-Lector, you know, Karl Franz, Boris Tower, like healing all these people who don't have access to potions. Jade Wizard is so good. Managed to keep these Royal Outdoor Grid Fights up to 18 models throughout the entire battle. I think they still had 18 at the end. And that's going to be it. I think this is a pretty effective build against Beastmen. What else could this be effective against? I'm trying to think. Would it stand up to the vampire counts and their current meta? Probably. Although if I was facing against vampire counts, I don't think I would even bring rifles. Like if I was going with the land-based army like this one and not the one I did before with Boris in the air trying to stop their leader, I think I would just nix the rifles and get more... Maybe like another Demigryph Knight, a secondary Demigryph Knight. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring a battle at some point in the future and against more... I'm sure there will be many opportunities to fight against vampire counts specifically in the future. But again, I hope you enjoyed this battle, everybody. I will see you all next time. Take care.